Alright, so I promised you a photo tutorial of this process, but I am going to try to get fancy and do it on video, and we'll see what happens. So, first thing we're wanting to do is put down our base layer of wool. I just have the merino I was telling you about from Wild Time, so we're just going to start putting that on there. Black, have some purple, actually that's the blue, and some purple, so we'll start putting those on. I like to kind of draft them a little as I'm putting them on there. I just found it's easier to roll them off when I'm finished. Also, yes, Band-Aids. You want them. They don't have to be SpongeBob, but that's pretty cool. You, at least the first time I did this, I raked my knuckles across the side of there when I was rolling them off, and it bled a lot, so Band-Aids. Okay. And yes, I will weigh this for you when I roll these off, because I know you were wanting to know how much comes off of here, so I'm kind of curious to know myself. Okay. If you watch other videos, you'll probably see people putting on thicker layers. I like to get lots of add-ins on there without making those layers too chunky all at once, so I tend to go with more of the thinner layers and just put more of them in. It takes longer, but it turns out the way I like it. Let's see. Oops. Sorry about that. Alright. A little bit more here. And on these edges. Okay, that's good. So, I'm going to just brush this down. I found it's easier to kind of start at the bottom and work your way up so things don't get kind of matted and tangled up. So. You kind of want to just press in and then just brush down a little bit at a time. Okay, so this is the fun part. For add-ins, this is that pack. There's a decent picture of it on the project page that I think I've showed you before. I took another one that's a little bit more close up that I'm going to add in there. So I have Firestar, I have Angelina, I have Bamboo, I have Locks, I have Silk. It's crazy, all the stuff they sent me. So you just start picking things out and putting them in. If you go kind of longer, wispier, it'll blend up more. Obviously the thicker chunks will be a little more obvious when you make the roll ag, and then you'll get textured chunky spot when you're spinning it. I like to put in some thicker strands of bamboo because those really give you a nice pop of color in the spinning. And that's, if you look at the first skein I did, you'll see those big kind of pink areas, and that's where that came from. A little bit of this. And it'll just depend what kind of add-ins you have as to how much you put and where, and kind of how much you want to mix in based on how textured you want it to be. I want to try. Here's some of the locks I got. Nice turquoise color. Kind of a peachy pink one. These create a lot of texture in the yarn, depending on how hard you kind of draft them out. See, I'm going to leave that one curly, so it'll be a really textured section when I get to it. Some Angelina. Lots of bling. And be some shiny stuff. Now this will be interesting, because if I do it again this time, I want to see how closely does it match up to what I made the first time, because as I think you can tell, there's kind of no recipe to this. I just start putting stuff on until it looks the way I like it. Let me see. Ooh, I like this stuff. And here we go. Alright. So that's probably a pretty good layer. Again, I'm going to start at the bottom, get those little sections press in, and then pull down to brush. And that's it. I'll go back to this again with my base wools and start putting another layer over top. Supposedly I can do a little time-lapse thing on this camera, so I'm going to try that out so that you don't have to watch me do the whole thing. Okay, so here we go.